The 50th edition of the G7 meeting has commenced. Leaders of advanced economies are meeting for a 3-day summit to discuss issues dominating the world at the moment. On the first day of the summit, the G7 leaders agreed to use frozen Russian assets to raise $50 billion for Ukraine to help in its war against the Russian forces. The agreement was the centerpiece of the opening day of the annual summit, attended for a second successive year by the Ukrainian president.
I can confirm that we have reached a political agreement to provide additional financial support to Ukraine of about $50 billion by the end of the year through a loan mechanism for the repayment of which the extra profits from Russian assets tied up in our jurisdictions can be used. We are not talking about a confiscation of these assets, but of the interest that accrues over time.
Also at the summit, US President Joe Biden and his Ukrainian counterpart signed a 10-year bilateral security deal hailed by Kyiv as historic. The deal signed on the sidelines of the summit aims to commit future US administrations to support Ukraine. Biden also sent out a clear message to the Russian president.
We've taken 3 major steps at the G7 that collectively show Putin we cannot wait us out. He cannot divide us, and we'll be with Ukraine until they prevail in this war.
Ukraine has signed a 10-year security agreement with Japan as well on the sidelines of the summit. Furthermore, Ukrainian president met with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. During their meet, UK announced new sanctions designed to degrade Russia's ability to wage war in Ukraine. Sunak asserted UK support for Ukraine. He said that they will always stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine in its fight for freedom. Italy also hosted a session focused on investments and infrastructure projects in Africa. Projects include a rail corridor that will connect southern and central Africa. It also aims to bring telecommunication cables and other infrastructure to the region. While the investments are meant to serve as an alternative to China's efforts, which the US and its allies say China uses to exert influence on other nations. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Italy. Prime Minister Modi is attending the summit as an outreach country, focusing on major global issues impacting both the global south and the world at large. He is expected to hold bilateral meeting with his Italian counterpart, marking their second meeting after Meloni's visit to India back in March last year. US President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi are also poised for a potential meeting during the G7 summit. And this has been revealed by America's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. On day 2 of the summit, various topics expected to be on the agenda, which are the war in Gaza, migration, economic security, and artificial intelligence. Pope Francis is set to become the first pontiff to attend a G7 summit. He will be addressing the subject of AI, that is artificial intelligence, at the conference. Well, he has previously called for global regulation of AI, warning of its danger to ethics and human rights.
Pedro, Santiago y Juan los conduce a un monte y se transfigura. Y este baño del